Sometimes all you need is a pan and a plan. So easy to make, so easy to clean up. So today, all of the recipes are going to be made in just one pot. First, my friend Ming Tsai stops by to make his easy coconut lemon chicken soup. It is unbelievably delicious and so fast. Then on our Ask Sara segment, I'll answer a viewer's question about one of the first vessels for a one-pot meal, the wok. And then a young friend is going to join me for one of my favorite one-pan wonders, Greek shrimp, farro and greens. Feta cheese makes it creamy and salty. And once you taste the farro, you will be hooked on that grain. One-pot wonders are the name of the game. That's today on Sara's Weeknight Meals. Funding provided by
Subaru builds vehicles like the versatile Subaru Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive and plenty of cargo room. A recipe made for whatever the day brings. Subaru, a proud sponsor of Sara's Weeknight Meals.
Family-owned and Indiana-grown, Maple Leaf Farms is a proud sponsor of Sara's Weeknight Meals. Providing a variety of duck products for home kitchens, Maple Leaf Farms Duck helps inspire culinary adventures everywhere. Maple Leaf Farms.
And thanks to the generous support of
Hello. Hey, Sarah.
How are you?
Nice place.
Nice to see you.
Look at you watering your
I know,
flowers.
I'm so domestic,
Oh
aren't
my
I?
God.
Yeah. Those are beautiful, aren't they?
That's
My
beautiful.
color, too.
Well, I'm here to cook.
Well, I'm excited. I've got some homemade chicken stock for you and
Oh, nice.
everything.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Sarah Moulton. Welcome to Sara's Weeknight Meals. Soup for supper is one of my favorite weeknight meal strategies. So when one of my favorite colleagues,
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Ming Tsai, I can't keep a straight face when you look at me like that.
You shouldn't have to.
From Blue Ginger Restaurant in the Boston area, mentioned that he was going to make this lemongrass chicken soup. I really got happy.
This I love because it's one pot, but it uses this fantastic lemongrass. What we're going to use usually is just the base that you use. I'm not going to mince this because I'm going to put it in the soup like the Thai soup. And then at the end, it'll add fragrance to the soup, but then we'll pull it out.
Okay.
Right? But the only thing you want to do is you want to cut off the end, all right? Because the end's a little bit tough. And then I actually use the back of a knife and kind of just bang it up. Because when you bang it up, it's kind of releasing the oil a little bit, right?
Okay.
Right? So then this is the part we use. And this is great. You can use this, if you're going to plate, and we have these, we'll plate it up later, you can use it as part of the plating.
So
of the
beautiful.
sauce. You're cutting up some mirepoix, some carrot
Right.
celery onions, because you're going to need that for any soup. You can go ahead and put those onions in here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
I'm
have
doing 2 onions, roughly?
Yeah, this is a tablespoon of grapeseed oil.
And why grapeseed oil?
Grapeseed oil, as you know, has a high smoking temperature, so it won't smoke up like olive oil. And I like the nutty flavor of it. And it's also incredibly healthy for you, which we all know.
Yeah.
So here's 2 different chilies. We have Serrano chilies, which are awesome. You know this trick to play on your friend? Your turn.
No,
Right?
not going for that one.
First bite, no heat, right? There's no seeds. Second bite, it'll kill you,
Yeah.
all right? So Sarah's smarter than me. So this is the Serrano chili, which I love. Jalapenos work as well. I like to cut it with the seed because the seed has all the heat. So since we have
And
both
I like
chilies,
it hot. You can make it as hot as you want.
exactly. Since we have both chilies, and these are called Thai birds. Thai birds are crazy hot. I would not do that trick with a Thai bird because if you miss, you could kill yourself. And people always think the red's hotter than green because of the color. Not necessarily the case. Sometimes the green is even hotter. It's when they're picked.
Do you want 3 carrots?
3 carrots would be great. So I'm adding a good amount of heat because Sarah mentions she likes heat. All right, so we have that going. I'm gonna grab the chicken because this is a chicken coconut soup.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to give you my cutting board then, so that you can just contaminate one cutting
Okay,
board. There
sure.
you go.
So I'm gonna add this chicken, but I'm gonna do what's called julienne. So this is almost like a turkey breast, right?
Big guys.
So I'm gonna kind of flatten it out by cutting it halfway, making it flat like that, right? So then you have, because what you want is uniform thickness when you're cooking chicken. And I'm just gonna stack these up and just make kind of
Strips.
Yeah,
Strips.
I'm not sure of the term.
Do you cook at home?
I cook all the time at
You've
home.
got 2 boys, right?
2 boys, yeah, David and Henry, who love to eat. And you know, I'm very proud of their palate. They certainly eat chicken fingers and French fries like every other kid in this
Are they
country.
eating sea urchin?
They've eaten oysters. They've eaten
Okay,
clams.
that's
They
it.
enjoy all that.
How old are they now?
11 and 9.
And they're taller than me.
Sarah, that's not that hard.
Okay, be nice.
right,
How many?
About 2/3 of that.
Okay.
Now here's the basic cooking, right? All we're doing is building up the base flavors, right? So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. You do the pepper, so I have chicken on my hands.
Yes.
All right, so we have the chicken. That's good to go. That's good. I'm gonna wash my hands.
Okay, and tell me, what would be a typical meal in the Ming Tsai household?
I think every chef cooks so simply at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't do lobster and foie gras. Now you see, again, a little color on the onions. As you know, color's flavor, right?
Right.
So get some color. I can go ahead and put the chicken in now.
Go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna mix this chicken around. We're gonna add your celery. And we're basically done.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta cook through, but we're done.
We got all main ingredients in there.
Yeah.
How many chilies did you end up adding?
I added one of each of the Thai bird and about half a serrano.
Okay.
So we got some heat. And the reason I'm saying we're almost done, we just gotta add the liquids now, right?
And you didn't put a lot of oil in there.
Not even about a tablespoon.
Okay.
So fish sauce first.
Fish sauce first.
So again, this is, believe it or not, anchovies with salt dried in the sun until a nasty brown liquid comes off of it. They bottle it and sell it to us.
Sounds yummy.
Sounds good, huh?
But it's really great stuff.
It's fantastic. What was
I
that?
swear, those chilies are getting to me. I love them, but I have to stand over here.
And what you're coughing, and I do it all the time, it's the capsicum. It's coming off because of the oil. But once you add this stock, it's gonna die out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand over here. But
Hey, Sarah, I did take a shower today. All right, Sarah, it's gonna take about 4 or 5 minutes to come to a simmer, then we can finish the soup. All right, Sarah, so it's come to a simmer. And the great thing about this chicken was cut so small, it's fully cooked. Once it comes to a simmer, completely cooked. All right, so we add 3 more things. I'm gonna grab this basil. If you could just pick the leaves off, and at the very end, we'll just add it.
Okay.
I'm gonna add coconut milk, right?
And that's full fat, we decided.
This is full fat, right?
Okay.
And add this towards the end of the soup because it can break if you add it in the beginning. And the last thing is lemon juice. Now, let me show you this trick. Okay. Jasper White, the great chef and friend of all of us.
I love
his
Jasper
pep cook
White.
showed me this trick. We all have lemon squeezers, lemon juices, lemon what, but we also all have a pair of tongs. Look at this.
Wow.
It is the best lemon squeezer, lime squeezer in the world. You have such leverage with a pair of tongs.
I can see that.
Isn't that great? I mean,
Let me try. Oh my God. Wow,
Right?
even a weakling like me can do
You're
this.
not weak, Sarah.
Well,
You're Sarah Moulton.
I know, I'm big and strong. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we didn't talk about this basil. Did you want to
Thai
talk?
basil.
Okay, tell me about Thai basil. I'm gonna actually eat a piece.
Like that. Thai basil is like Italian sweet basil, except it has that anise quality
A little
to it.
licorice.
Right, it's got that licorice quality,
You
which
want
I
more?
love. Just a little bit more. Yeah, it's really more. Again, this is home
Oh,
cooking.
just shred it in.
Just whole leaves, and our soup is done.
And at the done?
Done.
Wow.
Because the basil doesn't need to
Now
cook,
this
right?
is really my kind of weeknight meal, I have
telling
to
you.
say.
I mean, and basically, start to finish is what, 12 minutes?
Well, there was
15.
two of us chopping. So let's say
Right.
we took a normal home cook who can't chop real fast. I think maybe 15, 20.
Max.
Okay. That is so beautiful, too.
All right?
All right, I got to taste.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
See what you think. Do it.
Wow. This is like Asian Jewish chicken soup.
Asian Jewish. You mean Chew? No, that's Chinese Jew.
No.
Asian Jewish.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a word for that.
Never mind.
Jajasian. This is a Jajasian.
All
soup.
right, enough already. Okay, so perfect. This is
Thank
your
you.
lemongrass. What's the whole title?
It's lemongrass coconut chicken soup, or chicken lemongrass coconut soup.
Home run. Thank
you. Thanks, Sarah.
I couldn't let Ming go without catching up over tea in the garden.
This is so civilized.
I know, isn't it so-
Spotted tea.
Yes,
Thank you.
I love tea.
Yeah, let me do the Japanese thing. You can't serve yourself.
Oh.
You know, with sake, right? You never serve yourself with sake. And tea should always be served for you.
I didn't know that. Wow. I
Cheers.
love tea, but I
I love tea.
just make it and drink it every afternoon.
Although the first cup in the morning, it can't be tea. It's got to be coffee. I
Yeah.
need that.
Oh, really? So
I
you
need
go
that.
you're both and. Yes.
I go both ways. Oh, it's delicious. Love it.
Really good, really good.
This has been fun.
This is so much fun. It's old reunion week.
I'm glad you can still cook, Sarah. That's good to see.
Oh,
Are you
boy.
happy? Are you happy that I can still cook too?
Yeah, you can.
Barely.
You're only getting better, actually.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
Yeah, you're getting it all the time. On our Ask Sara segment today, We got a good question from a viewer on my website, sarahmoulton.com. It's about Asian cooking. And I've got my viewer right here. Hey, Allie from Baltimore,
Hi.
Maryland, huh?
Yes,
Nice,
yes,
nice.
I am.
You have good crab in Baltimore.
Always, yeah.
I'm sure you have a few other great things too. So I understand you're heading to college in the fall. The School of Public Health. That's very interesting. What are you going to major in?
Well, I'm specifically interested in nutrition, and that comes from my own personal interest in baking and cooking.
Oh, okay. So I understand you have a question for me today.
I do. A couple months ago for my birthday, I received a wok, a great gift, but I've never actually used one before, so I haven't been able to use it yet. So I was just wondering if you could give me a few tricks of the trade so I could make some good wok recipes.
Okay, well, I'm glad you haven't used it yet because you have to go through this whole process to begin with, and it's not the process that I could tell you, but I had an expert on my show, Grace Young, and we've got a little tape to show you where she'll take you through the whole thing of how to season a wok. Take a look at this.
Great. Thank you.
This is a brand new carbon steel wok, and you must scrub this thing with a stainless steel scrubber and liquid dishwashing soap for a good 10 or 15 minutes.
Wow.
There's a factory coating that has to be removed, and if it isn't, it's not good for cooking.
Okay.
So to season the wok, what we're going to do is add 2 tablespoons of oil,
Okay.
swirl it in, and then you can add your scallions and the ginger, and you want that sizzle sound. Now, whenever you stir fry, you always want to be stir frying on high heat. But for this, we want medium heat.
Okay, in the beginning.
And we're just going to stir fry this mixture for 20 minutes. This is called wok bonding. And as the mixture starts to soften, then we'll gradually smear it along the edge of the wok so that the entire inside surface is completely coated by this oily scallion ginger mixture.
Okay.
And each time you cook, the fat will infuse into the metal, and then with time, this actually becomes natural nonstick.
After 20 minutes, what happens? You take it off?
You cool
I'll
it.
go park it over there.
Yes, you remove all the scallions and ginger, and then you'll
you
wash
toss
it.
them out.
You'll wash it in hot water, rinse it with just a sponge,
Okay.
and then heat it on the stove again because you never want to dry it with a towel.
Try it with a towel. Okay, I'm going to keep remembering that because it will rust. So what do you think, Allie? Is that helpful?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to watch that again and write down some of those tips. And the ginger and scallions, I never would have thought those two flavors would go well together, so I'll have to try that.
Okay, thanks, Allie.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. We're making one-pot wonders today, and my next dish is fantastic. It's Greek. It's farro, which is an ancient wheat, with greens and shrimp and feta and oregano, and it all goes in one pot. And I brought in some troops today, a big troop. This is Marin. She is the daughter of my producer, Natalie, and I understand you're engaged to be married.
I am.
Yeah, it's in a couple of months?
Next year.
Next year. Oh, good. Well, you got plenty of
little
time
bit
to
of time.
practice this dish.
Yes.
That's why we're making it, because I think this is a good dish, both for the hubby, although he should cook for you too. Start early, and also for entertaining. All right. So continue with the tomatoes.
Okay.
And I'm going to get the shrimp going. We're going to start by cooking the shrimp just a little bit, and we're going to start with a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon and a half. So we're going to be using farro, which is an ancient form of wheat, but you could use even leftover Chinese takeout rice. You could use bulgur, you could use brown rice, you could use anything you want in here. But if you were going to use farro, and we'll talk about it in a minute, and we're going to use it today, it's something you can make on weekends. And then you can freeze it in 1 cup, 2 cup, or 3 cups amounts, the amounts that you would use later on in the week, and then you can just defrost it and add it to recipes. So we already cooked some farro, and we're going to add that today. How are you at mincing garlic?
I can do it. I can do it.
Okay, I bet you can. Move the
these
group
guys
down.
over.
Yep. Okay, so what you're going to do is mash this and peel off the garlic, and then give it your best bet.
Okay.
And there we go. Oh, very good. That's impressive already.
A little pound.
Yes. Okay, I'm just getting a little sear on these, not much. Of course, I should have had my onion chopped already, but that's all right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get started. And yeah. And we're using shrimp, but this is sort of a forgiving dish. You could use other protein. You could use leftover protein, leftover chicken, you know, or anything. And we're going to build flavor. So this is a good recipe to learn about building flavor. Everything that I'm sauteing now, I'm going to add to this strainer here. And all the juices from everything I cook is going to go down into the strainer. Now, if we just left everything in this pan as we added it, it would be very watery. And we don't want a watery sauce. We want a concentrated, flavored dish. So you're going to see what we're going to do. And that's just one of those tricks.
The shrimp smell really good.
Don't they?
Yeah. Is it okay to buy frozen shrimp? Is that okay?
I really recommend it, as a matter of fact. Okay. Buying a whole big package of frozen shrimp, you can sometimes buy them individually frozen. I really recommend that, in a bag. And then you can take out only as much shrimp as you want. And then grab it as you go. Okay, so while that cooks, I'm going to start crumbling the feta, because we're going to need about half of this. We need a total of 4 ounces. This is 8 ounces. So I hope you like feta cheese.
Love feta cheese.
Okay, good.
Any kind of cheese, really.
And you can just keep an eyeball and give a little stir. Could you put a pinch of salt in there too?
Sure.
When you're cooking, it's important to season as you go. Because if you wait till the end, then it tastes like food with a salt hat. There's no combination. And if you add it as you go, it just points up the flavor of everything. All right, so we're going to put half of this in and half of it goes on top. All right, so there's that. Let me just get that a little browner, and then we'll add the garlic. You know, sometimes people tell you to brown garlic, and that's just wrong because it just gets bitter. So
See, I think that's a mistake I always make. I put the garlic in first, and that's
no. Garlic,
wrong way.
Garlic 1 minute. 1 minute in there. Now, I've got some oregano from your mom's garden. When you're chopping big leafy herbs like this, they pretend that they're a solid thing. And then you can really chop pretty fine. And the reason I want to get them like this is because if you just throw them on the board and just hit them with a knife over and over and over again, they'll get wet and slimy, and we don't want that. We're almost there. We're just trying to get a little color. Sometime with onions, you want it to be what's called translucent, and that's just they're softened. We got a good start on them. But sometimes you really want to bring out the natural sugars, which is what we're doing here. Let me make room for my famous tomato trick. I don't know if you find that when you're cooking, you start with an expansive counter, and by the time you're done, you're like in a little tiny corner surrounded by junk, you know. So.
Well, we don't have much counter space to begin with. We live in a teeny apartment, and so
yeah. All right, so you take 2 plates or 2 lids, and you line up. So we want about a cup, so we'll do this twice. I'll do it the first time, you'll do it the second time.
Okay.
And you know, the more cherry tomatoes, the better. Okay, so you line them up. I just love things like this. So then you put on your lid. Okay. So you see I got them smashed down there. And you take your knife. This is a serrated knife, which is the knife you want to use for tomatoes.
Okay.
And you have to get down to the level of the tomatoes or you won't be able to see what you're doing. Whoop! And then,
That's
ta-da!
so cool.
Isn't that wonderful? Okay.
I usually get lazy and just put them all in whole.
I know, and they don't pop the same. Cherry tomatoes really don't give it up easily. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so you're
So
going
I'll
to do
do the rest of those?
You'll do another one, yeah. Here goes our garlic. And remember, I said just a minute. I'm going to quiz you after this. Okay.
Better pay attention.
Okay, so now we're going to add some pepper flakes. I like heat.
I love spicy.
Oh, good.
Extra spicy.
That was the right answer. Very good. Okay. I know
Put red
I liked
pepper
you.
flakes on everything.
Okay, Marin, go for it.
Let's see if I can do this.
Take your time.
And I don't worry about cutting myself this way either. This is great.
No, you're protected. Okay, let's see.
How'd I do?
Gorgeous. So look at this. Now you even made up your own bench scraper.
It's easy.
Oh, A+. Okay, these just take a minute, and then I'm going to need your help. We're going to dump them. What I'm going to do is lift this up in a minute, and you're going to pour all of this in there.
And what's the point of straining all the liquid into here?
We're saving the liquid because when we combine it all later on, it's going to be very wet. And if we just left all the green liquid and everything in there, it would be sort of a soupy mess. So we're going to concentrate it. So I'm going to ask you now to grab me the greens from behind you. We've got a mix of spinach and kale. You could use any greens you want. And we're going to put half of that in here.
Okay.
Oops, with more oil. It's a total of 1/4 cup olive oil to all of it. So go ahead, just put half of it in there.
Does it matter what kind of greens you use?
Well, it's what greens you like. We've got baby kale, which is very tender, and a pinch of salt. We season as we go. And just until, okay, that's good. And then we're going to do round 2. Now, in the meantime, oh boy, I'm making you work. You want to grab, there's a container of what looks like rice of some kind in there.
Okay.
That is farro. And this is farro. This is what it looks like in the package. You can open it up. That's 2 cups. And here's what happened, is that this is a whole grain farro. And a whole grain farro means that it takes a while to cook. It has all the parts on it. So we soaked it overnight, and then we toasted it in a dry pan and poured water on it to soak it overnight. And the toasting gives it flavor. Look at how this is going down. Okay.
More in there?
Yes, let's just do that. Yeah, go ahead, dump the whole thing in. And if you get the quick cooking farro, and how you know is you read the back of the package. So this said it cooks 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and I know that's the whole farro. So by soaking it, it only took us 20 minutes to boil it like pasta, because we soaked it overnight. Okay, a little more oil. You want to stir this?
Sure.
Okay. We want to just barely wilt it.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I was supposed to add oregano. One really good rule is to read the whole recipe before you start, so you don't get to that point in the recipe where it says to chill it overnight.
Yeah.
And your guests are waiting anxiously at the dinner table. Okay, let's come over here. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Yeah, we're just about there to assemble the whole thing.
Now, if I'm not lucky enough to have a fresh herb garden like my mom, can I use dried oregano?
I'm okay with that. I'll tell you the only herbs I don't like. Let me just tell you, I'm going to add a half a cup of wine. The dried herbs that I don't like are the ones that are the floppy herbs, like basil and dill and cilantro and parsley, because they just, to me, taste like dried grass. Not that I've ever eaten dried grass, so I don't really know what it tastes like. We're going to reduce this. Watch out. Woo! Drama. But dried oregano is fine, and the general rule is for every tablespoon of fresh herb, you will need 1.5 teaspoons. So we're going to just reduce this down.
That smells amazing.
And you want to press down on that to get our liquid. We're going to add the liquid from that. Yeah, it's accumulating. And we're just about ready to go. So look at all that liquid. We're just going to reduce it down. It'll take 2 seconds, and then everything else is going to go in. Do you want to measure me a cup of chicken broth?
Absolutely.
There we go. So we're concentrating flavor. That's the whole point of reducing this liquid here. So you see how we've got just about 1 tablespoon. You see how syrupy that is?
Yeah.
It gets a little bit sweet from everything that we have in here has natural sugar. So I'm going to quick get the chicken broth in there. Okay, in goes our farro.
You can smell it. It smells much stronger now.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There goes the farro. And you want to dump everything in there, being careful not to wear it. Just dump it in.
Great.
There we go. And
Yum.
you can stir it around. And the liquid too.
The liquid
Don't
too.
waste any precious liquid. Everything, you know, it's amazing what cooking gives to you. There's gifts everywhere you look.
There we go.
So half of the cheese goes in there. And you can stir that up too. And I know it's pretty well seasoned, so I'm not going to worry about it because we've been very diligent. Okay, and then the other half is going to go on top.
These colors are so pretty too.
Isn't
It's
it?
like a very bright,
Well,
summery.
you know, that is Mediterranean cooking in a nutshell. So smush it down a little bit. Then we top it off with more cheese, because that's what the recipe said. You know, when you make a recipe for the first time, you should really follow it exactly the way the author wrote it, because they might know something you don't. Okay, you want to open the oven door. We're going to put it in a 375-degree oven for 10 minutes until it's all melty. And the farro will heat up and the cheese will melt. Okay, I'm going to tidy up. Do you mind setting the table?
Absolutely.
Okay. So are you hungry?
So hungry. This smells amazing.
Yeah, see, now, even though we reduced all that liquid, see, it's still quite juicy. Okay, there we go, second one. And we're serving this with pita, just some nice bread, but pita is very appropriate. And this wine I'm sure you've never heard of or had called Retsina, which is a bone-dry Greek wine. And I have a particular fondness for it because it's the first time I ever got drunk, it was on Retsina. So, here's a question. Do you think your husband to be, what's his name?
Will.
Tell me if you think he might like it. Very good.
Oh, that's amazing.
Aren't those grains wonderful?
A little crunchy almost.
They are. So, Maren, thank you so much for coming and cooking with me. You're a great student.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you all for joining me today. I'm Sarah Moulton. I'll see you next time for some more of Sarah's Weeknight Meals. Oh, you have to try the wine.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me what you think. It's very unique. It's got the flavor of resin because it was stored in resin barrels. Sarah's Weeknight Meals continues online. For recipes, helpful tips, messages, and lots more, visit us on the web at sarahmoulton.com/weeknightmeals. And go to our YouTube channel, Sarah's Weeknight Meals TV. Funding provided by
Subaru builds vehicles like the versatile Subaru Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive and plenty of cargo room. A recipe made for whatever the day brings. Subaru, a proud sponsor of Sarah's Weeknight Meals.
Family owned and Indiana grown, Maple Leaf Farms is a proud sponsor of Sarah's Weeknight Meals. Providing a variety of duck products for home kitchens, Maple Leaf Farms Duck helps inspire culinary adventures everywhere. Maple Leaf Farms.
And thanks to the generous support of